I never grew up with educators that looked like myself. I always knew that wisdom was a powerful tool, but I also know that oftentimes we neglect it because of who it comes from.
Facts.
It's not necessarily just about being a king, it's more so about becoming a kingmaker.
Man, you got to be close enough to relate, but far enough ahead to inspire. What's going on, beautiful people? This is the Let's Grow Together podcast, the place where diverse individuals and communities come to serve, connect, and grow in the areas they're most passionate about. This your boy James. I am joined with my brother Marcus, as always. Marcus, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm gonna start us off with a little bit of good energy to set the tone, man.
Yeah,
But
man.
nah, that just sums up, bro, how I'm feeling, man. My team recently got trained in yoga and Reiki, bro. So like I'm find myself being more flexible, more loose, more
Yeah.
more vibrant altogether, man. And that's just continue to trickle on to taking a group of kids to a farm, bro, doing some equine therapy, planning, doing some gardening, bro. So I'm just tapped in, bro. I'm tapped in. I'm feeling extremely vibrant. Even just coming from an event today, we had a Roots family game day, bro. We had about 50 kids come out and literally, bro, just decompress prior to finals, man. So I'm elated to say the least, good brother. Good brother. How about yourself, man? How you feeling?
Bro, tremendously blessed and highly favored, bro. That's
Yes,
kind
sir.
of been my theme. And bro, I really been attracting some dope opportunities, man.
Mm,
Um, Partially because again, at the beginning of the year, I put it out into the universe that this year was gonna be the year that I was gonna get more speaking engagement. Um,
okay.
Specifically, I said paid speaking engagements, but the
Okay.
the first step is getting in the door. So since the year has started, man, I've had a couple opportunities to speak, and then some of those opportunities transitioned to a different opportunity, but nonetheless gave me a dope perspective and opportunity to network and meet new people. But kind of the most recent kind of point of attraction that I've had, one of my old mentors hit me up and said, "Hey, I'm looking to restart my nonprofit. You know, you were one of the first participants as well as our first scholarship recipient, excuse me." And she was like, "Man, I'm thinking about starting it back up and I would love for you to come and talk about, your experience in the program as well as how the scholarship helped you." So I'm like, of course, any
Yeah.
opportunity to add value and help support your movement because I really believe in the work that you were doing and that you're gonna do. And so she was like, "Man, that's love, that's love." So then, bro, she was like, "All right, well, I'll pay for your ticket, fully paid for it, this, that, and the third." So, I got my beautiful camera here. I've been taking just photos of myself, posting on social media. Bro, why she hit me back up like, "Man, I've been seeing your photos. I wanted to ask, would you be able to like take photos of the event?" And I'm like what event? She was like, the same event I just invited you to type thing. So I was like, man, that's love. So didn't get the necessary paid speaking opportunity, but it opened the door for opportunity for me to get paid to do something else, which I'm
Mm.
becoming passionate about. So I thought that was super dope, bro.
Dope, man. Your passion just making way for additional passions is what it sounds like.
For
And
sure.
man, I can definitely relate. I've been in conversation with Asheville, man, the city I'm from,
Mm.
coming back doing engagements at my grandfather's rec center. So literally, well, the his rec center is now a school, an alternative school at that, and that's where I thrive.
Yeah.
So, bro,
Yeah.
everything is coming full circle, bro. So I'm definitely loving the energy, and we're gonna keep the momentum rolling, bro.
For
So
sure.
what do you got for us, man? I know you always got some fire in the form of a quote. What we talking about today, man?
For sure. All right, so this is from Miss Maya Angelou. "You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them."
It's crazy because as you read this, I heard it in her voice, in,
Facts, facts,
in the
facts.
wisdom that come from it, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, bro, just roll with the punches. At the end of the day, your journey is made from the trials and tribulations associated with it, and if you take it from that perspective, it will all add to your growth long term upon reflecting on the journey. Is what I got out of it, man. What's your take?
that's real, man. It was two things I took from it. It's the idea of reacting versus responding. It's like,
Hmm.
all right, you can't control what happens, but what you can control is how you respond to that thing, right? If we
Mm-hmm.
just don't like, if we just, hot candy and we just reacting, then that's a little different. We don't know what can happen, but when you take the time to respond, you can. But it also, I think about perspective. I'm like, all right, I might not be able to control everything that happens, but if I have the right perspective, I know that there is a seed of equal or greater benefit if I truly
Mm-hmm.
look for it. So those were the two
Mm-hmm.
points that I thought of.
It really all boils down to falling in love with the journey.
1,000%.
Falling in love with the journey. And I'm loving the hell out of this journey. And it also makes me think about like this masters, bro. I think a
Yeah,
lot of people
yeah,
go to school and hate it and dwell on it. Bro, I'm loving my
yeah,
experience. I'm leveraging it in everything that I do and everything that I see. I'm like, oh, I read about that in the book. Okay,
yeah.
I know what you're doing now. So nah, man, that's beautiful. I'm interested to hear what does our guest have to say about it, man. So, Mr. Stormy, if you don't mind hopping on into the conversation, joining us as James pulls that mic up for you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bro, reading this, what does this mean to you? What do you get from it, Storm?
See, I was actually trying to write it down, but it went off the screen too fast. But see, Maya Angelou is actually my mom's favorite poet. So when I look at this, honestly, she came up in my eyes. But when I look at the quote, I mean, what you guys said, like rolling with the punches, but just making sure that like whatever happens to you, don't let it deplete who you are.
Yeah,
It ain't nothing but just a challenge that you're going through at the moment. So,
Mm-hmm.
continue to strive for it every single day. And just, keep being the best you that you can be.
that's real.
For sure. For sure. And it's crazy. James don't know you in depth like I do, man. But
Yeah.
when I actually quote, bro, I think about your story to keep it a buck,
hmm
man. And I would love for you just to give a little bit of insight in regards to, man, who is Stormy? If somebody was to meet you on the street or, hear about you, obviously they gonna hear what all the naysayers say, man. But what would you say,
Yeah.
brother? Who is Stormy? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Um, the thing that you said about if somebody on the street and they just want to know who I am, I'm a diamond in the rough.
Mm-hmm.
Um, really, I came from a place where not a lot of people make it.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people get out of that environment and try to make something of themselves and not look back. You know what I'm saying? So I am from Asheville, North Carolina. I'm the youngest of five boys. Um, went to school in Greensboro, North Carolina. Majored in business administration, but I started being a teacher. Loved it, but just wasn't for me. So I went into the tech field, and now working with Amazon as a customer success manager within strategic account services. And just loving what I do, man. Like helping black businesses. That's the program that I'm working in as of right now. But yeah, like I kind of jumped all over the place, but just gave you guys a highlight of like where I came from. Went to college. I was able to break some barriers there, and then obviously continuously breaking barriers by creating my own career for me. Just continue to be great at everything that I do, but also still giving back. So I know I gave you guys some insight of GLM, Ground Lead Motivate. That's my baby. That's my little baby that I work on to give back to my community whenever I can. I know that I said I don't look back that often, but this is the way that I look back, and I get continue to pull those younger individuals and show them that things are possible. So just a little bit about me. We'll get
Yeah,
deeper as
yeah,
we go.
yeah, yeah, man. Hey, shout out to you, man. I can only imagine what it was like growing up in the household because you said the youngest of five boys.
hmm
So I just wanted to make sure I heard that right. So no sisters. It was just the five boys, right?
hmm
Man, so I can imagine the type of like sibling competition and sibling rivalries that you guys had growing up. So like,
Um,
cause
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll go ahead and ask a question, cause what I think about, cause I see on your hat it say dog. You talked about
hmm
being a diamond in the rough. So I'm just
hmm
thinking about how did that dynamic of all boys like help shape you into who you are today?
All right. So I'm gonna give you a little background too, because with all my brothers, some of them are a lot older than me.
Hmm.
My oldest is like 41, 42. I'm 28, but my brother that's above me, yeah. Like I mean, with being the baby, being the basically the one that they trying to keep from the streets, keep from getting into trouble and stuff like that. It was kind of being like what's the word? Just just sheltered a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
obviously, the streets win at the end of the day. Like you gonna get access to it. I'm right there by everything, so I seen everything, did everything. So I wouldn't say it was much of a rivalry. It was much of like looking up to them and seeing what they do.
Yeah.
That kind of like showed me like, hey, like that's not what you need to do. But I admired it at a time until I got a little older, and I was like, all right, like that's not it. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
wouldn't say it was a real rivalry. Maybe the one that's right above me was a little rivalry because I got a little bit more love
Mm-hmm.
because I was the baby, and everybody just wanted to help me be great at
Yeah.
the end of the
Yeah.
day. But yeah, outside of that, it was just my older brothers doing their thing, and I'm watching and just knowing like, hey, don't do that.
Yeah.
I think of a few times in a relationship with Stormy, man, because I just want to give this brother his flowers, man. This is really like my brother, like my dog. Like I know we have my pops on, man. My pops was quote unquote like a pops to this young man, bro. So like
Okay.
this
So,
is my brother. I remember like through baseball, man, scooping him, taking him home, just kicking it with him, man. But bro, when I tell you this brother really was able to defy the odds, man, in so many ways. I remember like even his name Stormy, man. I remember some people some people would just be afraid of just the energy that came with it because Stormy was a quiet but loud when you flustered him, right?
Yeah.
Stormy had a fuse. Stormy was the kid that everybody knew not to get on Stormy's bad side
Yeah. Yeah.
because Stormy could turn up real quick. But Stormy was also the young man who was in AP classes right beside me, thriving.
mhm.
For a lot of people, it was so confusing for him. It's so confusing for them. But for me, man, it was so empowering seeing a brother who could go to the hood, go post up on a block, but also be in the classroom knocking out the A's and B's, and me and Brett competing back and forth. So I've just loved the journey of building with this brother for real, man, because so many people make excuses. And one thing I can say, this brother never made excuses throughout my duration of knowing him,
Yeah.
man. He was always locked in, he was always motivated, and he was always charged up to really redefine the trajectory of himself, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
again, I'm just beyond so proud of you from crossing the frat. Shout out to Omegas. I gotta show him some love, man. Seeing the trajectory and the development there to honestly just even graduate in college, bro. So, man, I want to talk a little bit about that. Seeing what you saw growing up, but then also having the vision, to manifest something different for yourself. Where did that come from, bro? What sparked you when that wasn't really what you saw on a traditional basis?
First, I want to say I appreciate you, bro. I'm proud of you too. And I say I know you say it all the time, but I do want to give you your flowers as well, bro. Like, you really, you did something with your life, and you made something to where you can truly give back to the youth and show them that there's a way. So I love what you're doing, and I appreciate you for that. Um, but back to the question. Say it one more time.
So basically, seeing what you saw growing up, but then having the vision to really redefine your trajectory, right? Do something different than what
Yeah.
you saw. What helped fuel you to do that? Because a lot of people, in the hood that we saw, bro,
Mhm.
wasn't focused on that, but not you,
Yeah.
bro. So I'm just curious to know what really charged you up to help you see a vision that you might not have seen on a day to day basis.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I think when I truly seen that, like, hey, like Stormy, you can do something else with your life, was when I transferred to Asheville High. Um, Throughout, it wasn't. I didn't see it as a kid. I didn't see it in middle school. I didn't see it early high school. I just knew that, you know, getting good grades gave me affirmations. You know what I'm saying? Like, I needed to get good grades because I'm not gonna get yelled at, or I'm not gonna get in trouble. I'm not, and getting those awards and stuff made me feel good about myself. That's why I did those things. I was always smart. I knew that. I mean, I think every kid is smart. They just, they try to get affirmations in different ways. But
One thousand
from
percent.
my understanding, when I got arrested, leading into my senior year, fighting with my homeboys downtown, and I was arrested just for defending myself. And I was like, bro, like, this ain't me.
Yeah.
Like, I done seen my brothers go to prison. I done seen them get handcuffed. I done seen all this. Like, that's not who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see the gangs. I see that, and I I'm tough, but that's not the person who I am. So I was like, okay, let me try to truly figure out like what's this path that I'm going down. So as I transferred, and Asheville gave so many resources of like figuring out, are you going to go to school? I graduated with 3.9 GPA, but I told my counselor, I'm like, people like me don't go to school.
Yeah.
Meaning is like black man from the hood, don't really have a father figure in the home, nothing to look up to. Nobody's in college around me. Like I didn't have that trajectory. If it wasn't football, I wasn't going. And I took football off the table because I was like, I don't want to do it. But yeah, so once my counselor set me down and was like, yo, like you got one of the top, you 17th in your class. Like that's not something small that you can say. So I was like, all right, like I'll figure it out. I'll try it out. And I applied to two schools. That's it. University of North Carolina, Charlotte, University of North Carolina, Greensboro. And I got into UNCG in April. I went to school in August.
Mm.
So it was like literally last minute. So when I seen, I was like, okay, like I broke that barrier of being able to go to college. Now it's like, okay, what can I do with this? And even when I was in college, like I still felt like a imposter, like I was supposed to be here. I was
Mm-hmm.
making great grades. I just felt, abnormal outside of my environment. And I didn't know what to do until I found a group of friends, pledging my fraternity and figuring out truly like what it is that I can do with my life outside of Asheville, North Carolina. So once I found that, then it went off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hopefully that answers your question, Marcus.
No,
Yeah.
it definitely does. From an educator perspective, you mentioned Asheville High was that key for you. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
go to Asheville.
Right.
I didn't have that experience, but I can imagine it because my parents did, and I heard so much about it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, James, in the education sector, I want to talk about why was it so vital for you to go to an Asheville High where there was more of a majority that looked like you, that was thriving, that may have had staff that looked like you, and people who
Mm-hmm.
encourage you that more. Because again, you were in another school, but the demographics were drastically different, right? Going to
Mm-hmm.
TC Robinson, and the staff didn't necessarily have the same amount of care and passion as it sounded like you
Mm-hmm.
had at High. So I'm curious to know, reflecting on your younger student, what was the drastic difference between the environments that helped you thrive that much more?
So before he answers the question, I just need, because I'm from the south side of Chicago, right? And I know
Mm-hmm.
there's listeners that are from other places in the world. So we just
Yeah.
kind of need a little bit of context, like what you guys are referring to. Because I know y'all North Carolina folk, they going to understand. But like, I just want to make sure, like, I kind of understand, but I don't want to assume, right? So I just want, like, because when you talk about Asheville High, was that like a more predominantly African American school?
Yes.
Okay, cool, cool,
Yes.
cool. All right.
So Stormy, can you talk about the difference in your experience
Yeah.
at Asheville High opposed to TC Robertson, and talk maybe a little bit more about the demographics, the staff, the caring, those different
Yeah.
elements as well?
And I align it with Chicago because I actually know some people from Chicago, and it's just more so the opportunity. So so to align it with Southside Chicago, Asheville High is the only city school within our county.
Okay.
So within that school, like you have all of the predominant poverty stricken neighborhoods. So like Section 8
Yeah.
neighborhoods
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
go to that school. But I will say it's predominantly white. It's a predominantly white school, but
Mm,
it has more majority blacks than any of the county schools.
yeah.
I will say that. So as I transferred from a predominantly white school that was, it was sports driven. You know what I'm saying? Like if you wanted to go somewhere, you needed to be really good at sports, or you really needed to have somebody behind you to push you like, hey, you're gonna go to college and this is what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Bro, until I was transferring that school, I didn't even know where the counselor's office was.
That's
You
crazy.
know what I'm saying? Like I didn't go to the counselor's office get my classes, nothing. Like it was all like sent to us on a paper. Like I never went to the counselor's office to pick my classes.
Mm,
So when I transferred, the first thing they did was take me to the counselor's office. I mean, I had some good teammates that I knew from youth league and everything, but they was like, bro, you got to go to the counselor's office, and just to see that they was on it, I'm like, and they
yep.
black, I'm like,
Yep.
what's up? Like, okay, okay, I see what's up. And they was cool. And the
Yeah.
counselors was black.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it's like, so when she was giving me, and she knew my family. I ain't know her from a can of paint. But she was like, I know your family and you gonna do something.
Yeah.
Like, I
Mm-hmm.
see your GPA, you know, I see we gonna figure this out. You're not gonna sit here and just act like you just here. You know what I'm saying? So, and she laid the line down of like, you gonna do everything that I tell you to do. Um, and the first thing was just, you know, obviously get my classes together and stuff like that. But it was during football season. I wasn't worried about school at that point. But like once football ended, it was like, all right, we need to figure it out. And
Yeah.
she allowed me to um, get my SAT scores from my past school, start applying, start doing scholarships. Like, I didn't even know how to go through the process to get a scholarship.
Yeah.
If it wasn't football, I didn't know how to write no essay to get no scholarship. I didn't know where to send the essay. I didn't even know what a dashboard was for the essays. Like, nothing. So I give Ashra High the glory for putting me in position.
Yeah.
And you know, Marcus know why I left TC. You know, it just you know, just a person from where I'm from, and you know, you kind of get poked at to try to bring that old you really out of you,
Yeah.
and and you know, they be like, oh, you know, just like Chicago, oh, you from the South Side, you don't really belong here.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
it's like I've got grades with some of the top white folk
Yeah.
in this class, you know, in my class. So, but but yeah, I give glory to Ashra High for getting me to where I'm at.
Yeah, bro, I feel that, man. And Stormy, I resonate with your story so much because, man, I come from some of the like slums of Chicago, but like
Hmm.
I could easily tell somebody like I was never really about that life. Like I knew people
Yeah.
that were, you know what I'm saying? But like
Hmm.
that wasn't me. And I also, like you said, the street always wins. Like, bro, I grew
Hmm.
up seeing like my homies' brothers getting shot, like my homies' brothers being
Hmm.
paralyzed, like my homies' brothers being incarcerated. I seen my cousins get locked up for stuff that they did. Like I'm talking about like shit that they actually did. Like and it was like
Hmm.
I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And then here I am thinking I can like finesse and do my little thing. But when it came time to like people start getting put in cuffs, I'm like, nah. Couldn't
You
see it.
feel me?
Nope.
Couldn't see it. I'm like,
Uh-uh.
and so it was stuff like that. But I think back to this one particular instance, man. I was living with my cousins at the time, and I was a freshman in high school, excuse me. And I was dating this girl. And I give this girl credit every time for like helping me like change. Just like your counselor, it was this girl for me because she
Hmm.
was going to college. I'm like, you going to college? College was never in my plan. I'm like, but if you going and we supposed to be together, this is gonna happen. But this also helped me too. I come home one day, my homie, I'm on the bus. My homie called me and say, man, the police is like raiding your house. I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, they looking for your cousin. And I'm like what? That don't even make sense. But I know that they probably was.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sure enough, he like, man, you should go. Like, he was like, man, what you gonna do? So I hit the block. He like, man, just come to my house real quick. So I'm about to go to his house, and for some reason, I'm like, man, it's my house. Like, why the police gonna stop me from going into my own house? Like, that don't even make sense. Dumb as ever, bro. Naive as ever. So I walk up, police immediately stop me. They like, are you my cousin? I'm like, nah, I'm not. So they get to searching me, all this other stuff. They sitting me out in the cold, bro, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like, damn, they treated me so inhumanely, like, and I'm like, this is
Hmm.
literally my house, and of course, my cousin wasn't there. They didn't tow up the crib, and I was just like, man, if we keep doing what we doing, like, this is gonna be my life. And I'm like, this is one day, and I'm talking about, bro, we had to put the crib back together. They broke drawers and flipped beds
Hmm.
and all this other stuff. Then I saw my cousin who had like a little felony, and there was some firearms in the house, so they took him just because they like. So it was just like, bro, I'm like, I can't live like this. So I went and told old girl, what that college application at? how you do that? You know what I'm saying? So that resonates a lot with me when you talk about like really not knowing like how to apply to college. And then outside of that, bro, I applied to two schools. Two schools. Like when you said that,
Hmm.
I'm like, we locked in, bro. I applied to Valparaiso University and I applied to SIU Carbondale, and those
Okay.
two schools, Carbondale is a party school, bro. And the only reason that I truly went to Valpo was because I didn't want to go to the party school with my homies because I saw what would come from that, and then two,
Hmm.
the girl that I talked about was going to Valpo, so I was like, duh. And literally, bro, like that one decision changed my whole life because I am the first college graduate in my immediate family. And I can say
Same,
that
bro.
proudly. You know what I'm saying? Hold on.
Yep.
We can't just we cannot just skip over that,
Right.
bro. Like, but and I did this long-winded kind of, to get to this question, but it's like, does it like well, I'm not gonna say does it, but how does it feel knowing like that one decision like literally changed your life? And I'm just saying the one decision to say, you know what, I'm gonna submit this essay, I'm gonna go to college because
Mhm.
you said something. You was like, man, I got to college, I was getting good grades, but for some reason I still felt out of place. Like I still felt like I didn't
Mhm.
belong. I still felt like so. Like I'm asking, like, how did it feel to like knowing that one decision changed your life, but also once your life started to change, how did you keep pushing, keep moving forward, although you felt like you didn't belong?
Um. So once I had that one decision that changed my trajectory, I started to realize like I have to keep taking on some of these challenges
Yes.
because I was the first in my immediate family to graduate high school.
Mm.
Then obviously go to college. So what got me actually it was a group of females that kept me at school because I didn't really care for friends. Like I was like, I was always a person where, hey man, I got my own homeboys back home, this, that, third, but they kept getting, they getting locked up 8, 10 years. Like I'm like, all right, let me start thinking a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I still had the hood mentality. Like, home is home, they're my people, I don't need to make new friends. And then as I continue to, open up, and this something I'm gonna leave at the end too, because I watched a podcast about some this word about vulnerability, but more so about me opening up and being open to friendships,
Yeah.
being open to new things. Like if I wasn't open to new things, I would have never joined my fraternity. I would have never made guy friends. I would have just been a dude with dreads, selling weed, mugging niggas all across campus. Sorry. But but yeah, but like so hopefully I'm still on track of your question.
No, you are, because real
But
quick,
yeah.
because what you're talking about right now is something that we talk about all the time. It's like when purpose and identity is unknown, abuse
Mhm.
is inevitable. Like, so
Mhm.
what you're talking about right now is the transformation of you finding your identity. So you right on par
Mhm.
with what I'm talking about. So go ahead, brother.
Yeah. So actually it came back to who I was back in high school. Like I had two identities in high school. I had the athlete party chill guy. Then I had the hood, the YN
Yeah, yeah.
with my crew from the hood. And Marcus can attest to this. When I was
Mm-hmm.
hanging with, Malik and them and Josh and them, we was at the parties turn getting the women. But then when I hang out with my boys, Queasy, them, it's on sight. It's either we about to fight or shots about to be let off. So I could finally get into the realm of who I really personally wanted to be. Was like a very friendly guy, loved everyone, party animal. You know what I'm saying? Like it was nothing but good vibes when people came around me.
Yeah,
So I could fully jump into that and be me because I was open to those friendships and I was open to talking to just whoever. You know what I'm saying? And women love me, just random, the hood guys in Greensboro that they looked out for us because we was just real individuals and I was a real individual. Like I know the streets, but like bro, like I can talk to you as a real person. I don't care about what
yeah,
you bang, nothing like that. So it's just, I could become myself now once I figured out how to open up and just be, I won't say vulnerable, like I said, I'm gonna come
yeah,
back to that,
yeah.
but just being open.
So Stormy, do you think my bad, Marcus? Because I'm definitely kind of hogging because this your homie. You know
Nah,
him.
you
You know what I'm
smooth.
saying?
You
You know what
smooth.
I'm
You
saying?
smooth.
Because I'm just hearing this, man, and I think about a lot of the young bucks that we mentor now, Marcus, and I'm just wondering, do you think that you would have made that same transformation if you stayed home?
No,
Hell
absolutely not.
no. Hell no.
Absolutely not.
So
Mm-mm.
So I would like to hear you say like why you think that.
Resources is the biggest thing.
Okay.
And resources and I don't know why the words keep leaving me. But it's more so like your surroundings. You're gonna adapt to your surroundings. So
Yeah.
if everybody around you is selling drugs, if everybody around you is still at home with their parents, if everybody around you is just messing with the same women, if everybody around you just doing sitting on the block every day, I would have just fell straight into that. Even if I would have got a job, as soon as I would get off, I know for a fact I would be right down the block drinking some liquor, selling some drugs, just get some extra bread, talking about nonsense. Not mine ain't even expanding, nothing. And I hate to talk like that about my community, but it's not even just my community. Every community is like every black community where individuals don't leave the area. I'm pretty sure in Chicago, if somebody left that block, I'm pretty sure they can come back 10 years later and see them same guys
Yeah.
in that same position, in that same spot.
That's
Hmm.
a real. That's a real.
So you talked about resources, but I also think it's about opportunity.
Yep.
I mean, as
Mm-hmm.
I reflect on my journey, like going to Fayetteville, bro, like I always say, like I never saw affluent black men that looked like me, that were successful, that were
Yeah.
in suit and ties, that drove Maseratis and
Yeah.
all these. Like that was coming from Asheville. Like you see suit and ties, we going to church or we going to a funeral. Like
Right.
those are your
Right.
two options. It ain't anything in between.
Or court.
Yeah,
Facts.
or court
Facts.
trying to look. Yeah, 100%. But for myself, I actually had like a little bit of an opposite experience at Storm. Right, I
Mhm.
went to the white school, TC Robertson, but then I went to a HBCU, as opposed to
Yeah.
Storm going to the black high school and then going to a PWI. So I
Yeah.
almost had a reverse experience, but I almost had a self, I not even a self identity crisis, but I had to take time to learn myself in the midst of being around my people and understand that what my people were doing wasn't cool in my eyes. You
Yeah.
know,
Was it shock?
so
Was it a shocker for you? It was
nah,
culture
because
shock.
again, like I mean, like I'm gonna keep it a butt, like. Bro, this how I know my pops got hella love for you, bro. Like my pops
Yeah.
let me stay the night with Storm. Like I'm in my
Yeah.
high school, I'm kicking it with Storm. I'm like, oh, Storm really getting to it. Like, oh, he
Yeah.
he ain't
Like,
lying.
bruh, and that I'm living in. I'm living. Bruh. I'm gonna let you get back to it. I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
I was just talking to my fiance about this, bro. Like, it was abnormal. I was living in the trap,
yeah,
but I thought that was normal. And then, like looking back, having people that aren't in that lifestyle there, it made
yeah.
me realize, like looking back now, it's like that should have never happened.
Yeah.
Period.
Nah, you right, because again, my pops really rock with you to one allow that to happen. I don't know how
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
just reflecting on that, but but as I reflect on it, I realized Stormy just had access. Like
Yeah.
bro really
Mhm.
could access whatever he want. I remember bro pulling up damn near like early, was that middle school, early high school, whipping it. I'm like, bro, you don't got no LD. He like, nah. Like, bro was just literally living life. And for me on the outside, I was like, yo, that's dope. I really enjoy that. But the more that I
Mhm.
got to engage with him and the more that my father kind of took him under his wing, I was like, okay, there is a form of a lack. And it's
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
because I think of it from the current generation perspective. All that wine shit is really cool for a lot of our youngins because it's access.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
can do what I
Yeah.
want. I got the money. I can
Mhm.
travel. I'm with these
Mhm.
girls XYZ, but not
Nobody
really
tell me right and
realize
wrong.
not really realizing there's a lack, right? There's not the guidance, there's not the resources, there's not the insight, things of that nature. And I almost had to come to a realization that Fayetteville State, like, oh, a lot of these niggas ain't just had the opportunity to like really live life. Like
Yeah.
that's why they out here
Yeah.
going hard lit
Yeah.
now, because they weren't able to do that, in
Hey,
opportunities when we were.
Marcus, this is
Yeah.
one of the you made me think of this quote because you said when you came onto like Fairville campus, you said you had this like it wasn't an identity crisis, but you was like you went through this little phase, and this was one of the quotes that I was gonna potentially use. It says, "Being a black man in America means being in a constant state of becoming free,
Mhm,
becoming whole,
mhm,
becoming more than what they expected." And that's from Michael B.
mhm,
Jordan. But it's like,
Mhm.
bro, it's like even when we do the right thing and we're excelling and we're outperforming our counterparts, like we still feel like there's something we have to prove a lot of times.
Hmm.
It's like
Yeah.
it's crazy to think, because I literally heard both of y'all stories. Well, I know both of y'all stories. I'm hearing it, and it's like all of us have had to, like, we're excelling, like
Hmm.
3.9. Like Marcus, honors AP. Like myself, honors AP. But it's just like in the back of my mind, it's like, dang. But should I still be here? Like, do I deserve to be
Right.
here?
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy. Like knowing you put the work in, like knowing you actually did the assignments, and it's crazy. But when I think about the young bucks that we work with now and then that's out here now, it's like I feel for them because like you talk about how Stormy had access, they have more access to things
Hold
than
on,
I
man.
can ever imagine. And the
Hmm.
sad part about the access that they have is they were given access without having to work for it. So
Hmm.
now when it comes to, all right, they actually have to put some work in, they feel like they're dying. They feel like this is like all hell breaking loose just because you have to do an assignment, just because someone is giving you constructive criticism, because for their entire, and I'm not talking about everybody, obviously I'm making a
Hmm.
generalization because it's general, right? If it fits, wear the shoe. But it's just one of those things where it's like people have so much access that is, and they didn't work for it. It's like people feel so entitled now. Like I be looking at some of
Hmm.
the young bucks, like, I don't know Stormy personally, but hearing what I'm hearing from him, the access that he had, I'm pretty sure he worked for it. Like I'm like even in middle school, like that access that he had, whipping a little car, like he probably put some work in to get that car. Like I'm sure, you know what I'm saying. Nowadays, a girl will turn 16 and get a Corolla, and she wanted a Tesla, and she going crazy. Like,
Yep.
I'm like, but the Corolla fully paid for. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you want to get a car note. Like, it just don't make sense, man. But I digress, because this is one of those things that I think about constantly. Is like, I know that all of our young people have potential greater than myself, because they know, like, they smart as ever. Like, all these young
Hmm.
people is super smart. They just kind of lazy. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so because I know they so smart and they could do all this stuff, I'm like, man, try to push them. But then I will see them in their natural state, bro, and get so mad. I'll be like, come on, man, we got to get past this, man. We got to get past this.
With that though, I think it comes to finding your village. I heard Stormy talk about it in
Mm-hmm.
college, right? I know you
That's
talked
right.
about a
Hmm.
Valpo. You found your gang. It's finding your village, and it sounds like you were able to find it in college. But I want to pivot a little bit and
Mm-hmm.
talk a little bit about the mountain men is what I would call it for the time being. Um, Again, Storm and I, as we mentioned, we're both from Asheville, North Carolina. Man, we got two other partners, Rod and Drew. Shout out to them. They'll be on the podcast down the line. And man, regardless of the life experiences, the different routes we've gone, I think, yeah, all of us are in different states right now, but we've always continued to stay in touch and continue to build upon the bond and the relationship and really hold each other accountable and just professional development across the board. So, damn. All right.
My 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 chair like to go down on me, bro. So I'll be having to put it back up.
Nah, you good. And but talking a little bit about the professional development across the board, man. So Storm, bro, I would love for you to talk a little bit about, the Mountain Men, the collective, what it's done for you, and just any insight you may have around the group itself.
Yeah, for sure. It actually pushed me to do this and other aspects too. But I mean, it's been a blessing to me because when I talked to Marcus, Rod, and Drew, I remember when we first started, like Marcus wasn't like a very spiritual, individual when we talk about the stuff like that. And even he grew to be able to do that. But it's just like we all grew in our own little sectors to find out, what is our niche and what can we bring. Obviously Marcus brought the initiative and the motivation to it, but it just truly just made me really figure out like, okay, where's my value, and then how can I continue to increase my spirituality, my thought process of just making myself better, but also motivating others to do the same thing that we are doing. So I know we don't talk as much as we used to, but it's still good energy when we check in, just to check in and see like how you doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you struggling with anything? Can I pray for you? That, and just even if that was a text message, if that was just a text message of like 7 words, bro, I'd be like, yeah, bro, I'm a respond to you with all my heart, because that really meant something. So just having some brothers from different walks of life, but from the same area, and wanting to see each other succeed, like it speaks powers. And then for me to be able to kind of take that and do it like within my fraternity, I talk with my pro face, I talk with my nephew, with some of the, the conversations we have. It just pushed me to kind of like make little pockets with other individuals and do the same thing. Like within my workspace, got a couple people that I talk to, and it don't be as like, like how we do with the Mountain Man group, but it just pushed me to kind of like bring in more camaraderie with other men or adults that's that may be struggling in life too, or just trying to figure out their way. So yeah.
I think it boils down to community, as we said though, man. Being
Yeah.
able to understand that there's others who are like you who have gone through similar
Hmm.
situations. Um, 3 out of 4 of us have kids. 3 out of 4 of
Yeah.
us are married. And shout out to
Yeah.
Storm. We're gonna talk a little bit about that. My boy ain't no
Right.
bachelor no more. I'm proud of you for that. But I said that to say, like, we generally bounce energy off of each other. We really pick
Hmm.
each other's brains. We're really there for each other, and we really gonna talk some real shit to each other when we need it too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And and for me, bro, I think it's so vital because again, we talk about when we was in college, like finding ourselves. Part of finding ourselves, or I'll speak for myself. Part of finding myself was finding my tribe, right?
Yeah.
And to your point, I had different circles for different things. But when she was going
Yeah.
down, I had my circle I need to really build with. And then when we go
Hmm.
into the club, I had my guys I was bidding with. But as I matured, I've realized that 90% of the people who I was kicking it with and just kicking it with, the relationships faded. Those brothers
Yep.
who I had who I could really call on when I was down, they knew my plight. They knew when the baby was on the way. They knew all the details. Those are my dogs to this day that I can continue to build with. And for me, bro, having 3 like-minded brothers from Asheville that grew up that know the same BS, that know the same
Hmm.
situational, the same environment, and we're all thriving in our own perspective adds so much more value for me. And being able to still talk to these guys to this day, man, I think it's invaluable. Us as black men, like we need community. We need
Facts.
again. We always want to be the most hard body. I don't need no. You
Hmm.
need a community. You need somebody to pour into you. You need somebody to talk that shit to you when you smelling yourself a little bit too much. And for me, bro, it has been a game changer. And I'm just so proud because I was kind of like the innovator for thinking about it, but it's different when you call your boys like, "Hey, bro, we finna do something weekly." Like, hop on a call. Like, it takes a
Yeah.
certain group of brothers to be dedicated to continuously fulfill that. And what, bro? We going on probably like 3, 4 years. It feel like 3, 4 years and some change now. Where we've
Yeah.
been consistently able to pour into, develop, and build. And again, bro, I owe a lot to these brothers. The whole spirituality component, like I'm like, bro, all these hypocritical Christians, I ain't feeling that. But then I met these brothers who literally walk the walk, and 2 of
Hmm.
them are down there youth pastors at their church, man. So I'm
You
hearing the plights
next.
Mm.
that they're. I hear you, man. I'm a not
Hey.
yet, not yet. I'm gonna stay on the minister route over here, marry
That's
some
funny.
people, and get going. But on a serious note, though, man, like it's dope having brothers who see things in you that sometimes you don't even see. That can speak
That's
that life
real.
into you, that can pour
Yeah.
into you. And honestly, man, you could be extremely vulnerable with just as Stormy said as well, too, man. Because if one of us struggling with something, we comfortable with each other to actually have that conversation. And what we found is all of us have once been at that point where we needed somebody else, and now we're able to pour into each other, and it's just the ecosystem of support. So it's
Yeah.
beautiful, man. But I appreciate you leaning into the process because the old Storm would have been like, hell nah.
Facts.
That's funny.
That's it. It's a whole new meat. But I did want to ask you a question, James.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
was the last time you truly was able to, speak to a brother or a counterpart and be able to express that you are weak in a sector and that you need help?
Man, bro, I love, man. First, shout out to you, man. Appreciate the question.
Hmm.
Um, man, I actually have a really solid group of brothers, man. Myself, Cody, Chuck, East. We pretty much talk regularly. But
Hmm.
when I say like, obviously we work together, but like we're on team calls Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Very intentionally, and all of those calls are 2 hours long. But intentionally, the Monday call is just checking in. So it's like, man, how
Hmm.
is life? How is everything going on? And now, of course, we be having like some of our interns on there. They're young women, and then stuff like that. So we don't always get as in depth. But man, bro, like it was like a couple months ago, man. I had expressed to my group, like, man, I'm struggling in the area of finances. Like this,
Yeah.
like, and I'm not, and hear me out. I'm not saying give me money. I just want y'all to, pray for me and just keep affirming me, keep doing what y'all doing. And like my home, like bro, if they were on here right now, they'd be like, man, James, you on purpose right now, like you doing your thing. Cause there was a time where my finances was kind of hood, and y'all all know we got ladies in our lives that we committed to. Like they don't make it easier, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to like finances. So it was one of those things where I was like, man, like I'm trying to make my girl happy, I'm trying to live life, we trying to buy a crib, we trying to like it's
Yep.
so much stuff going on, and I'm just like, bro, I need some help. And my homies was like, and again, because I learned very early from my mentor, Win, like, man, we don't like asking for money over here. So I never really asked for money, but I'm like, man, just pray for me. And bro, like I talked about at the beginning how like all the opportunities have been opening up for me, like, bro, and that's not because of me. Like it's not because I've been the only one praying. It's because I got prayer warriors all around me that's really been like, looking out for my best interest. So man, I constantly try to like lean on that. But Marcus will tell you, man, I'm like one of the more hard body niggas. Like I don't really be I don't really be trying to be too vulnerable. But like, but as a restorative practitioner, as a facilitator of space, I always try to lead and model what it's like to be in these situations. So for our young bucks, like they will literally hear me tell them about, man, I was a young kid, got in trouble a lot, tried to finesse, I was stealing, I would smoke every day. Like I did the same shit that they think is cool right now.
Yeah.
And I want y'all to know that my homies are either locked up, dead, doing all type of stuff. And I'm like, bro, that's not the path. Like, so I only said that to say to you, man, like, I lean into my vulnerability now these days versus, 10 years ago. I'm like, bro, I'm on campus. I ain't necessarily mugging people, but like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I was the black dude from the south side of Chicago with hella tattoos. So like, I assumed people thought whatever. And because of that, I did my thing. But like you said, bro, I started opening my mouth talking to people. People kept coming around. People kept showing up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. But I appreciate that question, man. But I wish.
Hold on, James.
Yeah.
I wanna comment on that.
Yeah.
There's a question that we asked in our group recently with the fellas, and you
Yeah.
pertain to the financial situation with women. One of the
Oh
questions we asked,
yeah.
one of the questions we ask, and as men, I just think this is a dope space to have a conversation. I ask, would you be comfortable asking your partner for $500, right? And I ask all my brothers, and all my brothers was like, yeah, too easy, right? But I asked a group of men in a different environment, and everybody got quiet as hell.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so funny. And a lot of those brothers are married. They
Yeah.
got quiet as hell. So it just made me really reflect, like, yo, if this is really your partner and you love them to death, if they ask you for $500, you're gonna be like, what for? But you're gonna break bread, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're in position. But when the role is reversed, I find it very intriguing and interesting. So I just wanted to bring that back up because I'm interested to know, how would that be for you all? One, being a man, the vulnerability of asking your partner for the $500.
Yeah.
But two, is that something that they would fulfill as well?
So I said in the chat with a swiftness, I said, yeah, for sure. And I said it, and if she wasn't open to helping her brother out, you might need to reconsider getting the hell up out my house.
Yeah.
But 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 yeah, like I don't think I don't think I have a problem because I don't ask so much. You know what I'm saying? So and if I was, if I was to ask for that much like that, she'd probably be like, like, you okay first?
Yeah.
And then she'd be like, yeah, I got you. Like,
Yeah.
let me, where you need me to send it to. Yeah.
Yeah. I share a similar sentiment. It's like, would I want to ask her? Probably not. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Just being a man, just But if I needed to, like I damn near want to show y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But like like, bro, my girl would be like. Matter of fact, I got a real life scenario. It wasn't 500, it was 100. But basically, for some odd reason, I could not log into one of my bank accounts. Like, I was trying to like send this the alley mechanic some money for doing my brakes. Like, this was like a week ago. And I'm like, man, babe, just send me a little bit to my Apple Pay, because I couldn't send it through the app for some reason. She sent it right, like no questions. I'm talking about no questions asked. Sent it right to me. Like, not even 10 minutes later, I sent it right back to her. Like, but she ain't asked me no questions. Like, and
For sure.
And I think part of it, because this is what I initially thought, right? It's like a lot of times growing up, our families didn't talk about money at the table, so it was weird. Like, I really feel like wives didn't know what husbands was making. Like I really felt like they was just like, all right, he paid the mortgage, we cool. Like he paid the house, the car note, we cool. Like I feel like a lot of times they didn't. And again, I'm generalizing, folks, so don't kill me. But I'm just saying, like I feel like most times, like people didn't have those conversations. So like me and my girl, like it was weird at first. Like she like, man, like she ain't asked me outright like how much you making or whatever. But I'm talking when we first got together, I'll just be like, man, I got us, But I would
Yeah,
never
Yeah.
yeah.
say an amount. Like I'm like, I got us, we good. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take care of us. Like that's the move. And then it became a like, all right, nah, we trying to plan for this major purchase, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and we a partner now. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm putting in the pot. This is what I'm making. This is what I'm saving. Like, let's just come to the table. Because when I don't do that, and I move on my own, or I do something, it just makes things weird, right? Like your girl don't
Mm-hmm.
feel like she a part of it. You don't really consider
Mm-hmm.
her. It's all type of stuff that go into that. And then if you allow your woman to kind of spearhead all of that, unless let's say you working on yourself, you going to school, she making good money, so you just say you do the thing, right? That's different. But I'm saying if you are sitting on your ass as a man and letting this woman do whatever, bro, you need to reevaluate yourself as a man and figure that out. Because you know how you said, Stormy, like, man, you need to probably get your ass out of my house. She could easily say, you need to get your bum broke ass out my
Yeah,
house.
for sure.
You know
For
what I'm
sure.
saying? So yeah.
It is mutual. But I say all this to say, I've had a lot of conversation about this in different spaces, and the answers always really intrigue me.
Mm-hmm.
Dating
Mm-hmm.
in today's society is one of the most fearful elements that I pray for anybody who does not have a
Yeah.
counterpart that is dating,
Yep.
because this is a unique time. I was
Yeah.
having the same conversation with my little brother, and you'd be interested to hear how the conversation went. But I say all that to say, it is important to date individuals before you just get in bed with them. Because
Yeah.
when babies
Mm-hmm.
get involved and there's not mutual understandings, this is where a lot of hiccups come long term. And that's 18 years of hiccups. So please, please, please be cautious. Make sure there's a mutual understanding. Make sure that you know the different responsibilities associated with it. And there is ultimately an agreement so that things are a little bit more smoother as you do continue to progress within that relationship. So
Facts.
just quick disclaimer, dating 101. Make sure y'all understand the financial component, because I've done a little bit of digging. A lot of divorces in the black households come associated with funds.
Yep.
A lot of
Mm-hmm.
arguments in a black household come associated with funds. So let's make sure
Mm-hmm.
if we're getting into
Yeah.
this, we plan on long term, or we plan on My mama said, if you can't bring her to me, or you want to introduce her to me, do not penetrate her. And that joint stuck with me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
real talk. Make sure that
Yeah.
you do understand that, man. It will save you
Hey.
some headaches on the long term.
Yo, this was not let's grow together family. This was not meant to be a relationship talk, but I feel like I gotta say this. I feel like, bro, I feel like I gotta say this, man, for all the youngsters, the mature folks, seasons folk. Like, tell your significant other your values up front. Like, tell them your
Mm-hmm.
non-negotiables up front.
Yep. That's what I was
Be
about to say.
because when
Mm.
I say, if you be with somebody for a year, 2 years, and then you start trying to tell them, oh, this is what I value. Oh, I want to have kids. This is what's important. And they not on
Mm-hmm.
the same type of time, man, listen, that's going to be a rude awakening for both of y'all.
Mm.
So, man, out the gate, of course, I ain't saying come out and just, lay it all out, but like be open and start having those conversations. Like,
Yeah.
not what's your favorite color? What's your favorite movie? How did you grow up? What are your intentions in
Yeah,
relationships? Are you dating
yeah.
for marriage? Because again, you would be able to weed out a lot of the bullshit real quick. And if you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
waste your time, I'm telling you, that's what you do. Stop being scared to ask tough questions, because you're going to look
Mm-hmm.
up, you're going to have 4 kids, 3 baby mamas, and you're going to be like, man, I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
Ask tough questions on the front ends. You don't have to
Yeah.
have tough conversations on the back end. So
Mm-hmm.
that is beyond spot on. Um, man, I learned so much from just talking to my old heads about a lot of these things in relationships, and the game and wisdom that they provide is like, we have a mutual understanding. She knows what I'm gonna do, she know what I'm not gonna do, and I know the same as well too. And recently, man, I had to go sit down with my therapist, and we had a conversation. And the biggest thing he was talking about in relationships is him and his wife have a core understanding. And what that entails is, I was talking about, James, we always talk about the grocery store. I hate the grocery store, right? With my partner. And he was like, bro, my wife knows that I'm not going to the grocery store. That is
yeah,
not
Mm-mm.
my arena. I am not doing that.
Mm-mm.
You can spend
Nope.
hours
that,
in there. I will, as soon as you get ready to pull up, call me when you're 2 minutes away. I will be
that's
outside to
funny.
take groceries. But I'm not doing that because I do not thoroughly enjoy that, and I don't like the little tag along experience while you're taking your time, and I got other things going on, and it just made
So
me laugh. But
so
like,
so damn, real quick, Marcus, hold on, cause I this low key went to the back of my mind because I forgot all about this. So you mean to tell me, Marcus, we didn't known each other for about a good 2-3 years now, and you still act like that when you go to the grocery store?
I hate going to the fucking grocery store. Like that shit
Yo,
is not for me, bro. Like
yeah,
3 hours in a grocery store, bro. Like you know how
yeah,
much productive shit I could have done in 3 hours. Like
yeah,
I,
yeah,
I hate that with a. But I digress. I say all that to say that's just
yeah.
a prime example. But I do want to segue a little bit, man. Stormy, as we're asking some of these questions, I know, bro, you're getting ready to get married, my dog. So, one, James, can we hit something for my boy? Can
Oh
we
yeah,
turn
I
him up
got
real
you, I
quick,
got you.
man? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My boy is finna get married, bro. So one, congratulations, kudos, man. I
Appreciate it.
wish you all nothing but love, success, abundance, all the above together, man. But I know you. I'm curious to know, bro, like what have you learned through this evolution, man, of having a fiance and getting ready to have a wife as well? I know we kind of chat a lot about some of the inner workings and things of that nature, but like I'm curious to know, how did you know that she was the one, and how has she helped your personal evolution as well?
I know we go back to the finance. Well, the finances thing. She helped me with that. To help me get to the point to where I am with my finances, and we kind of excelled there. But to knowing that she was the one, she don't take no shit.
Hey,
Mm,
She don't
mm.
take no shit. So with the type of person that we used to be, you know, um, and I dealt with all type of different women, man, a lot of women, but it was just nobody truly was like, hey, is it me? Or you know what I'm saying? Like you ain't about to just be doing no wow, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not just about to be out here just doing whatever. You need to figure out if I'm the one, if I'm not, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? And when she did that, I'm like, oh, like,
yeah,
it wasn't, some people get scared. The ultimatum, like, not even ultimatum, but just like a damn, like this is a woman that knows her worth. This is a woman that has a
Mhm.
backbone. Like, and at first it did scare me, and we kind of parted ways for a little bit, but then I came back to realize like I ain't gonna find nobody else like her that truly hold herself to a high standard. She respects herself and she knows what she wants. And with me, women just wanted me and what I had. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say all of them, but some of them. And she didn't.
Mm.
I'm handsome. She wanted me, but she was like, I ain't about to just let you just do whatever you want on me. You know what I'm saying? And I never done anything on her. And
Mm.
that's really like, and I hold that like a precious egg that I never cheated or I never did anything to her. You know what I'm saying?
Does she remind you of your mom?
No.
he said that quick too.
Okay.
Yeah,
The only reason I ask is I've realized again, in having a lot of these conversations with men, a lot of times their partner reminds them of their mom, or just maybe a woman role model or figure that they really love, and they see something in them. I heard you talk about kind of that backbone, like you ain't finna go for none of that. Like that was my experience with my wife. It's like, damn, like you would check the
Yeah.
hell out of me, you would put me in my
Mhm.
place, and you kind of remind me of my mom a little bit. So
yeah.
I was just curious to know if there was a correlation there at all.
Nah, and I think Marcus, but James, you don't know. Like I was raised by my aunt, but I still got my mom in my life, my birth mom
For
and
sure,
whatnot.
for
Like,
sure.
and she's a firecracker. They both Aries, but she's just she's just a little more loving, I would say. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that has grown. That has grown. So I could see the correlation with like my mother and everything, my birth mother and stuff like that, but not to the extent of my mother's character to her character. Totally different. Was raised different, environment different, so she got different aspects to her, but she does have that fiery Aries as my mom does. So yeah.
Man,
Definitely makes sense. Definitely makes sense. As we get ready to close out though, bro,
Hmm.
we talked a little about the community. We talked a little bit about the hood. Bro, tell me,
Hmm.
what are you doing to get back to the hood, man? Because again, bro, I'm beyond proud. I'm just, it's
Yeah.
beautiful to see, man. Just a little context. My father worked at the Shallow Center, which is the rec center in the
Hmm.
hood in the community, where I had the opportunity to meet Stormy and all these other phenomenal young men and women in the community. And Stormy, again, we talked about the upbringing, we talked about the experience. Stormy was one of the hellions at the center as a youngin, but
For
now
sure.
Stormy is now Stormy is able to get back to the hood, man, and be a positive role model. Had the experience to, was it the year before last, to go out there and see him, and man,
Hmm.
Stormy did his thing. So when I tell you, bro, it was a phenomenal event. But Stormy, I would love for you to shed a little bit of light, man, and even tell some of our listeners if they could want to support you as well, man. How could they connect with you on that?
Yeah, for sure. Because we actually gearing up now, man. I just got a dang invoice for bounce houses for the kids. So, for sure, if y'all wanna, donate, I give y'all some resources to donate or, insight to donate. But every year I do a back to school bash. I don't like to really start pushing it out until like the school year is kind of over because I don't want to, depress the kids too much about going back to
Going
school
back
just
to
yet. But
school,
you
facts.
know what I'm saying. But I do things in the background to make sure that we have book bags that's filled with all the supplies that these kids need, notebooks. I mean, I know a lot of things are online now, but just little things that they can utilize. But we also give out gift cards, prizes, scholarships, food. This year is a cookout thing. I wanted to be like a family reunion, and just like have the whole community out, to just to bring back that vibe that I had when I was a kid. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It haven't been there since. But yeah, last year we did over 250 book bags to students. We had a whole lot left over, but this year I was like, okay, like I kind of want to up it a little bit. I want to double the goal to 500. If we miss it, it's cool, but that's my goal, to make sure that we can do that, and that's going to be an extensive goal. I know it's going to be a lot of funds that I got to raise to be able to do that. But it's going to be fun. We got a kickball game. I thought about adults versus kids, but now we'll probably just mix it up. White team versus black team.
yeah,
I'm gonna get some t-shirts made with white GLM on it and then black GLM on it, just so they can have fun. And they also can do the bounce houses and get them a hamburger, hot dog, good music, good vibes. But it's for the community I grew up in, because every year I didn't have the funds to truly get my stuff,
yeah,
or get all my supplies that I needed. My mom somehow figured it out right the day before school half the time. So to be able to take some pressure off these parents, especially in the times that we are in now with the
Mhm.
economy, is becoming a little bit more of. It's always been a heart, a loving and a caring thing for me, but now it's even more because I know that these parents are really going to be struggling with what's going on.
yeah.
So, if anybody want to donate, or if anybody just want to look into it, you can check into my past videos on my Instagram. I didn't change my Instagram name, but my Instagram name is official GLM96, and it's just regular official GLM96. You can look at the past events that I did. I'll probably be posting how you can donate. If you want to do Cash App, it's GLM Gives Back. Totally up to y'all. No pressure on you, but if you can, we have a big goal this year that we're trying to crush through. Is just DM me or whatever, and just ask me what you can do to help. That's about it, though, man. Like, just gearing up for it. It's gonna be a good time this year. And plus, my family's doing a dang on reception for our wedding the next day. So it's gonna be a party all weekend, man.
Oh
Yeah,
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 oh
yeah.
yeah,
I love it, man. I love it. Again, bro, it's beautiful to see this 360 moment, though, man. The community that helped raise you, the pour into you. Now you're doing the same for the next generation, bro. So
Yeah.
beautiful to see. Again, flowers, bouquets all across the board, man. Beyond proud of you, family, sincerely, man. But let's go ahead and hop into the final segment, man, as James helps us pivot to the growth segment. So, James, can you read this for me, good brother, and let us know who said it?
yes, sir. No glasses, I got you.
It's a wrap.
It's the man. The gem of the day, man. It said you either evolve or you repeat. Growth begins the moment you choose different. Man, brother, how does that resonate with you, Stormy?
I mean, that's life, period. And I think that resonates with my life as a whole. Is like you got to continue to evolve, or you're gonna repeat those generational curses.
Mm,
And once you decide that you want to put that boundary in place and evolve, now you have broken that curse, and you have broken what you could have went left and continue to go right.
mm,
Facts. That's facts.
mm.
Man, I love that.
I as I hear his response, I'm thinking about this quote I got right in front of me that says, "Once you become fearless, life becomes limitless." And I wonder,
Hmm.
is it the fact that a lot of time we're fearful to do something different than the norm, and that's what causes us to stay in a consistent cycle? Because getting uncomfortable, making a transition, can be extremely uncomfortable, as we know.
Now,
Hmm.
So,
what's
yeah,
funny, Marcus, if you want to get deep real quick, like I could tell you exactly why when you remove fear, life get
yeah,
limitless. Like,
yeah. Let's
all
get it.
right, bear with me. Listen. All right, so we talk about fear just being a false expectation appearing real, right? And
Hmm.
now if we remove that, right, it then becomes limitless, right? Because we remove expectation from things. So now we're just doing because we love doing. Life becomes limitless. We ain't worried about the result. We just doing it because we truly love it. So when we remove fear out of the equation, life becomes beautiful. Because life
Hmm.
is beautiful, literally.
I think again, kind of going back to the Reiki and the yoga element, it allows you to be present in the midst,
Facts.
opposed to always being in the
Yep.
mindset, in this
Yep.
consistent cycle, right? So nah, that's spot on, man. But I like that. We're gonna definitely dive into that the next one. But
For sure.
Storm, what do you have for
Yeah,
us, growth segment wise, as we close out, man? What do you have to pass on to our next view, or our next
I
guest?
got I got you. I wanted to add a little bit to what y'all said there though. First
Okay.
Oh,
is
for sure.
if you cross out fearful and put faithful there a little bit, you can start to look at things a little bit
He's
more
on
deeper as
fire.
well.
Mm,
But it's just more so about, obviously within the word, like having faith is just to hear, what is there for you. So,
mm,
when people see things and they get fearful. So if you just hear, and like, you gotta have faith without truly seeing things in front of you. You know what I'm saying? People start to see how hard things can get, and that's why they get fearful. But if you have faith, you can do whatever. But
Facts.
but I was listening to all the smoke with
Yeah,
Matt
with Matt
Barnes.
Bars
Yeah.
and Steven Jackson. Yep.
So they just had just Jason Wilson on there, and I've been reading his. I just finished reading his "Cry Like a Man." I'm about to get his other book.
Yeah, you talking about
Um,
the moment the man demands,
yep,
right?
Demands.
I
Yep.
got
So
that joint.
I just ordered it. So
Yeah.
that's my new read for the next month. But he said something about, and we said it a couple times, about vulnerability, right? So the definition of vulnerability is the quality or state of being exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed,
mm,
either physically or emotionally. So he said, don't use vulnerability, use emotionally open.
mm,
So when you are diving deep into yourself and being open about what you're going through or what hurts you or anything that's not being vulnerable. You're not opening up to be hurt. You're opening up to heal.
mm.
Mm,
So be emotionally open so you can be emotionally intelligent with your feelings.
that's good.
Mm,
So
mm.
that's something I'm working on right now. It's like continuously just being open. Obviously therapy is helping me that. But yes.
Trying to find me a balance in life. Why I'm still trying to gamble with life. Wanna be great, it gotta come with a price. Gotta watch what you ask for. I strive for these moments in life. I'm still learning and giving advice. I try carrying the weight of the world. See, I saw when I was losing myself. I had to catch my breath. Nobody got you like you got yourself. So it's important for you to know who you are. Cause in the dark, you gotta fight with your heart. Even if your heart broken apart. But they still gon' judge me. So tell me how that's been here for me. I had to see that everybody didn't love me. Like everybody ain't for me. I took chances just to see for myself. Cause for the longest I've been hurting myself. Trying to blame someone else. I stand on it, don't regret what I did. Cause I can live that my intentions were real. My heart just needed to heal. Gotta get back to loving myself and trusting myself and better my health. Nobody loves you like you loving yourself. You gotta know who you are. Gotta get back to loving myself and trusting myself and better my health. Nobody loves you like you loving yourself. AMP